Hey everyone, my name is Jack Hixson. I'm a solutions engineer here at Gnosis Freight, and today I'm going to be walking you through the invoice auditing module. Within invoice auditing, we can do this for drayage, ocean, demurrage and detention, and in certain cases, even miscellaneous invoices. But for the content of today, we'll be focusing on drayage. The first portion I'd like to run us through today is establishing the foundation of how we audit here at Gnosis and how we differentiate ourselves. And that is broken down into three dimensions. The first two dimensions are contracts and invoices. And this is going to be the basis of measurement for how we audit a container in its journey in the first place. It's essentially comparing contracted rates to what's applied on the actual invoice itself. Very simple. Where we differentiate ourselves here at Gnosis is when we bring in the third dimension, and that's going to be with the Gnosis tracking data that backs all of our containers within the platform. With that information, we're able to build and kind of audit the entire story of what's happened to the container and compare it to what the invoice is telling us in unison with what we're comparing to the contracted rates itself. That opens up a lot of doors to some cool logic in terms of auditing different rates and things of that matter that come through within the invoice and are listed on the contracts themselves. So once we built those foundations in those first two dimensions with contracts and invoices, there's different ways we can get your invoices into the system. First is handled outside of the portal through our emails. We can tap into your actual email feed where those are flowing into, and we can start to ingest those and then populate them into the portal. The second two come within the platform. It can be as simple as a form that we build for you where you select the actual trucker themselves and then upload the invoice here. The other option is a little bit more robust, but accomplishes the same goals. We're going to walk you through a little bit more of a detailed process where you're going to select the carrier again, upload the file itself. In this case, I'm going to do the DC1 LA. We're going to validate the headers on the rows. This is just making sure we're auditing it correctly and making sure we're comparing the correct headers to the correct columns in the database, which you'll see here. We've got some AI running in the background, making sure that matches. And then again, we're going to select the DC here. We can really put any supplemental information you want to see here, invoice numbers, additional contacts, things of that nature that might be useful down the road inside the audit itself. And then we get to the magic behind the scenes where we're going to audit this, and you're going to get to visualize what it looks like from these three dimensions that we're auditing from. So when you're looking at this information here, there's a couple different ways we're doing it. We're validating behind the scenes with the Gnosis third dimension, the tracking data, that we have this container, that it traveled through this terminal and had a delivery date of this, 1/1/2025. But then there's the first two dimensions we see here. When we look at this flagged base rate, we can see that it's a base rate mismatch. We can see that it's listed on the contract as 400, but here it's listed as 500. Those are the easy wins that you can accomplish through the platform just from those first two dimensions. But it's the power behind the scenes that really is fueling this entire system where you can start to validate on top of that the story that the carriers are actually telling you through the invoices. So really, really cool features that we're able to do here and also have different levels of flexibility across the whole entire platform. So within it, again, to reiterate, we're doing things a lot differently than you see traditionally, where you start with just an invoice and compare it to a contract, or really vice versa. But really what we're doing here is bolstering up the system and adding a more robust approach to it by adding that third dimension of Gnosis tracking data. So in the end, we're able to do a different form of auditing across those three different planes, whether it be drayage, whether it be ocean, or whether it be those D&D contracts, and even sometimes those miscellaneous ones that you'll see come through. Thanks again.